If you have a toothache or tooth pain, you can use clove oil from your pharmacy to help with the pain. But make sure you see your dentist as soon as possible so they can give you any treatment that you might need. In this video, I'm going to go through all the questions that you have about clove oil. You can skip to any question you want to hear the answer to first by clicking on the timestamps in the video description below. So how much is clove oil? Clove oil comes in a small bottle like this. It's normally about 10 millilitres or about 2 teaspoons. It's around 3 to 5 pounds in the UK. Where can you buy clove oil for toothache or tooth pain? You can get it from your pharmacy. I would recommend that if you want to use clove oil as a medicine, you get it from the pharmacy because it has a childproof lid. This means it has a lid that you have to push down and then twist in order to take off, which makes it childproof and safer to have in the house than a normal clove oil essence bottle. So who can use clove oil? You can use clove oil if you are not pregnant or you're an adult or child over 2 years old. Who should not use clove oil? You should not use clove oil if you are pregnant or if you want to use it on a child that is under 2 years old, or you take any medicines that make your blood thinner. These are medicines called anticoagulants that stop your blood from sticking together and having blood clots. Blood thinning medicines you may have heard of include aspirin, warfarin, clopidogrel, rivaroxaban, and apixaban. You should not use clove oil if you have bleeding gums or any sores in your mouth, including ulcers. So these are painful patches on your gum. This is because clove oil can irritate or make your gum feel worse. You should not use clove oil on your gums, only on the enamel, which is the white part of your teeth that you can see. So where can you use clove oil? On the white part of your teeth that you can see. This is the enamel, and it's here. It's the outside of your teeth that you can see. Do not put clove oil on your gums. And when you use clove oil, you should not swallow it or drop it into your mouth using the dropper. The dropper is to help you get some of the clove oil onto a cotton bud, and we'll go through how to use it later in the video. Can you put clove oil directly or straight onto your gums? You should not put clove oil onto your gums because it can make them feel irritated or sore or make them feel worse. If you do put clove oil on your gums by accident, you can get a tissue and then wipe it off. Can clove oil damage your gums? Yes, clove oil can damage your gums. If you put it on your gums, it might make them feel sore, and you can get a cotton ball or a cotton bud or a clean tissue and wipe away the clove oil wherever it is that you have got it on your gums. So what can you use to help with sore gums, to help treat sore gums? You should not use clove oil, but you can use a mouthwash that contains benzydamine or Chlorhexidine. These are 2 medicines that you can use as a mouthwash. You should only use Chlorhexidine mouthwash for 1 or 2 weeks. This is because they can change the colour of your teeth. So one of the side effects is it can stain your teeth. This means they will be less white than they usually are. There is also a gel that you can use to numb the area of gum that is causing you pain. When you numb an area, it means that you will no longer feel anything there, including pain or even touching the area. You won't be able to feel it. These gels, which are for your mouth, contain something called a local anaesthetic. And a local anaesthetic attaches to your nerves, and then it stops the pain from being transmitted or from your brain sensing that there is pain in that area, because the nerve cannot communicate with the brain as the nerve signal is being blocked by the local anaesthetic. You can get a gel for sore gums from your pharmacy, and it will contain a local anaesthetic called benzocaine, and you should only use it for 1 or 2 days, normally about 3 or 4 times a day, about 4 hours apart each time that you use it. Make sure you do see your dentist if you have sore gums. So how do you use clove oil for toothache or tooth pain? You need a clean cotton bud like this, and you need your bottle of clove oil from the pharmacy. You have to push down on the lid and twist it and take it off. Then take the cotton bud and use the dropper, which is on the tip like this, to put some clove oil onto the cotton bud. Then you want to take the cotton bud and put it onto the enamel, which is the white part that you can see. Onto your tooth just for a few seconds. Clove oil has a strong taste, so make sure that you eat before you use any clove oil. Once you use the clove oil, you have to wait maybe 10 to 15 minutes before you should eat or drink anything. Make sure you only use clove oil on the white part of the tooth that hurts. You do not need to put clove oil on all of your teeth if only one tooth is hurting. Only put clove oil on the tooth or the teeth that are hurting. You can also use an ice pack, which you wrap in a towel like this and then press it against the tooth that is hurting from the outside. So put the ice pack in a towel like this, or wrap it in a t-shirt and then press it against your face where you have the tooth that is giving you pain. You can also take a painkiller like paracetamol or ibuprofen. Paracetamol and ibuprofen are available from your pharmacy. So if you do want to take a medicine like paracetamol or ibuprofen, or use clove oil, then please speak to your pharmacist before you use them. If you do have a toothache or tooth pain, then please see your dentist as soon as possible. How many times can you use clove oil for a toothache? You will use clove oil every 2 to 3 hours if you have a toothache. But make sure that you see your dentist as soon as possible, within 2 days if possible, so they can give you the treatment that you need. Can you use too much clove oil on a tooth. Yes, you can use too much clove oil on a tooth. So you want to avoid putting too much of the clove oil onto the cotton bud that you will use to put the clove oil onto the white part of your teeth that you can see, which is called the enamel. If you do put too much clove oil, then get a cotton ball or a clean tissue and wipe away the clove oil. If this is your first time using clove oil, then try to put only 1 drop of clove oil onto the cotton bud before you then put the clove oil onto your tooth. Do not use the bottle of clove oil to put drops of clove oil into your mouth. It might make your mouth feel sore and irritate or damage your gums, and you will have a very strong taste that will be difficult for you to get rid of if you put clove oil straight into your mouth. Does clove oil work for toothache or tooth pain? Clove oil has something inside called eugenol, which is the active ingredient. That means that eugenol inside clove oil is the thing that has an effect on your tooth to help numb the pain, which means to get rid of the feeling of pain or take away that painful feeling of a toothache or tooth pain. Eugenol can also help prevent an infection, so it can stop bacteria from growing and making your tooth pain worse. At the pharmacy or at your dentist, you can get a very small bottle of eugenol like this, which has just pure eugenol inside. This is normally inside a dental first aid kit. And inside the dental first aid kit, you'll also get some zinc oxide clay, which is in a small pot like this. So you can see it's clay. And you can take a small amount of this clay just by pinching it off like this. See. And then mixing some of the eugenol from this little pot with the clay. Once you mix them together, then you can take the mixture and put it onto your tooth that is hurting. This is helpful if you have a filling that has fallen out of your tooth, and it helps you buy some time before you can get to see your dentist. If your filling does fall out, then you should see your dentist as soon as possible. The zinc oxide clay that you mix with the eugenol and then use to put on your tooth to fill the gap will help protect your tooth until you can see a dentist to give you a new filling or any other treatment that you might need. At the moment, there is not much research that shows that clove oil works to help you with toothache or tooth pain. But you will still find clove oil in your pharmacy, and you will still find eugenol in a dental first aid kit, as it can be helpful for the pain until you can see a dentist. So what is better than clove oil for toothache or tooth pain? You can use ibuprofen or paracetamol as painkillers to help with the pain instead of clove oil. But make sure you speak to your pharmacist before you take any medicines. You can also take an ice pack like this and wrap it in a towel like this, and then press it against your cheek where the tooth hurts. You can press it against your cheek for about 10 minutes or so, and then have a break for about half an hour, and then you can use the ice pack again. If your face starts to feel sore or the skin starts to go really red and feel painful, you should not use an ice pack anymore. You should stop using the ice pack. You can also try mixing a small spoon of salt inside some warm water. Get some water in a kettle and let it boil. Then pour that water into a cup and get a spoon of salt and dissolve it in the water. So to dissolve salt in water, just put a small spoon of salt into a cup of water that is boiling and mix the salt inside the cup until you cannot see the salt anymore. That's how you know that it has fully mixed in or fully dissolved. Then you should wait for that water to cool down until it's warm and you can touch it with your hand. You do not want to put boiling water with salt in your mouth, as this will hurt your mouth. Once the water has cooled down, then use the warm, salty water as a mouthwash. So put a little bit inside your mouth, wash it around your mouth like you use mouthwash, and then spit it out. This will help provide a little bit of soothing effect to anywhere in your mouth where you have pain. You can use it for toothache and you can use it for sore gums too. Can you use clove oil for a tooth infection? No, you cannot use clove oil for a tooth infection. It will not get rid of a tooth infection and it will not cure a tooth infection. Please see your dentist as soon as possible to have a look at your tooth and help you with any treatment that you might need if you do have an infection. Just because the clove oil helps take away some of the pain, it does not mean that it has taken away the infection. This is why you need to see a dentist. Can you use clove oil for tooth decay? No, you cannot use clove oil for tooth decay. Tooth decay is when bacteria are eating your teeth, and this causes pain. When the clove oil helps to get rid of some of the pain, it does not mean that it has cured or taken away the infection or the decay. So you need to see your dentist as soon as possible. Does clove oil heal or just numb? Clove oil can help take away some pain from toothache or tooth pain. But this does not mean that it is healing your tooth or getting rid of an infection. When it numbs your tooth, it helps to take away the feeling of pain. But you need to see your dentist as soon as possible. How long does clove oil numb a tooth? Clove oil will numb your tooth normally for a few minutes. In some people, clove oil will not do anything. If you use clove oil and it helps to get rid of the pain for a few minutes, then you can use it again about 2 or 3 hours later. You should only use clove oil for 1 or 2 days until you can see a dentist. If you want pain relief that lasts longer than clove oil, you can take a painkiller like ibuprofen or paracetamol. Before you take any medicines, such as clove oil, paracetamol, or ibuprofen, you should speak to your pharmacist first. Remember, clove oil is just first aid, so you need to see your dentist as soon as possible if you have toothache or tooth pain. Why is clove oil not working? Clove oil might not work because the pain is not on the surface or the outside of your tooth that you can see, which is the white part, the enamel. There could be bacteria that are causing damage and breaking down the white part or the enamel of your tooth that you can see. And when this happens, we call this decay. The clove oil might not be able to get to the deeper layers of your tooth, so underneath the enamel. Underneath the enamel, you have something called the dentine, and under that, you have something called the pulp. Decay starts in the dentine, and if the damage reaches the deeper layer, which is the pulp, this is where the nerves are, and this is why you get pain. So if the clove oil is not working and the pain does not go away, then you can use painkillers like paracetamol and ibuprofen to help with the pain. But make sure you speak to your pharmacist first before you take these medicines. And if you have tooth pain, make sure you see your dentist as soon as possible to find out why you have that pain and to give you any treatment that you might need. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you at the next one.